Shalom, I hope you all are doing well. I am blessed and I am back again with a very quick video. I just want to provide you quickly the difference between the Hamites and the Shemites. The Bible scholars know that the so-called black people, who are in fact the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, are the descendants of Shem. And they also know that all the Africans are descendants of the Hamites. They know that Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, and they know that the so-called black people are descendants of Shem, not Ham nor Japheth. And they even put it in plain sight in the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary. As it reads, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. So many so-called black people, who are in fact the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, connect themselves and identify with being African. But as you can plainly see here, even the Bible scholars know that black people are not African descent. They said that Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, but they excluded the Negroes. But aren't so-called black people considered to be a dark race of people? Hence the reason they labeled us black. Even though we know we're not black, we're many different shades of brown. Now, I know that the nation of Israel have mixed their seed with Hamites as well as with other nations of people, so please don't come on here and address that. Believe it or not, the Bible supports the fact that there's still a pure race of Hebrews here on the earth. And I know that the Most High is going to come and cleanse our DNA and all that. Please don't come on here and address that either. I'm specifically addressing the difference between so-called black people and Africans because there is a difference. And even the Most High makes the separation in Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. He says, "But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue, against men or beast, that ye may know how that Yahuwah do put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel." Now, if so-called black people are truly the descendants of the Hamites, if we are all really Africans, do you think that it makes sense for Africans to enslave Africans? Believe it or not, we were once in African and Arabian captivity. Fleeing Roman persecution, the Israelites migrated into Africa. They started in the northeast and worked their way down to the southeast. During this time period, only the east coast of Africa had established countries and villages. The rest of Africa was practically uninhabited. Therefore, the Israelites migrated into towns and villages on the east where their cousins, the Hamites, had authority. By doing this, they could easily take care of themselves and their families. With the Romans going from town to town looking for the Israelites to slay, Northeast Africa, one of the few countries not controlled by Rome at the time, became a safe haven for all the Jews that were scattered abroad. However, as more and more Israelites began to migrate into Africa, the towns and villages became extremely overpopulated, leaving less and less room for the Israelites to earn a living in the towns of the Hamites. As a result, many of the Israelites began to migrate towards the west to start their own countries and nations. The Israelites' presence in Africa began to expand significantly in the 2nd and 3rd centuries of the Christian era, extending not only into the Sahara Desert, but also reaching down along the West African coast. As the Israelites began to migrate from the northeast to the southeast, then to the west, they started establishing small little tribes in the regions they settled in so that they could keep their families together as well as the practices of their Hebrew customs. One very important custom in the Hebrew culture was to have the father's name Yah somewhere in their name. And although they had been exiled from their own homeland, the Israelites kept that tradition going by naming their tribes after the name of their father, Yahuwah. The Israelites had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them. This assured them a constant precedent for the development for a higher social organization. To make a long story short, their success and influence was so great that they changed the entire culture of the continent, spreading their Hebrew customs all over Africa. So here's where it all gets shady. As a result of the Hebrews' massive success in such a short period of time, the African tribes began to pick fights with the Hebrew Israelites, in which led to many tribal wars between the two. This also resulted in many of the Israelites being taken as prisoners of war or slaves. To make matters worse, the neighboring Arabs, descendants of Ishmael, also began to develop a beef with the Israelites for not converting to their newly formed religion, Islam. There's so much more to this story, but I kind of just wanted to let you see just how different the Africans and the Israelites truly are. They are a different nation of people. The so-called black people, the true Hebrew Israelites, descended from Shem, and the Africans descended from Ham. This concludes my video. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you and your family safe. And until my next video, Shalom.